Hello, hello. It's Sunday, can only be our weekly recap for From, and today we're gonna be looking at episode 8 that we just watched. That's called Forest for the Trees.
Oh, this episode. There was a lot of a lot going on. There's a lot going on.
A lot going on, and actually one thing I was disappointed is that we had this big cliffhanger that got resolved pretty poorly, I believe.
Yeah, I mean that is true. I mean, we could at least started with the scene of Elgin showing someone at least pulling him out or waking him up or whatever. It was just kind of glossed over.
Yeah, doing some knitting because why not? Just okay. I
But
just almost
instead,
been
we were
killed by monsters, but I'm knitting. I'm knitting away because that's what you do, apparently.
yeah. Well, I guess before we dive into it, David, how about you give us the summary of the episode?
Okay, so we have Jim and we have Randall, who's pretty much one of the main focus of this episode, who just going full on conspiracy theory. We've got some wasting going on in hospital. We got maybe some new threats coming out. And we everything seems to be coming to blow for some people, including our poor residents of the colony house who end up in a little bit of a pickle.
Oh, and for those of you who were wondering, no, we still have not got a wedding. So,
No, that's episode 10, I believe.
yeah. So, like, okay, as you were saying before, that this episode pretty much started with Kenny, uh, kind of in a nightmare state,
Hmm.
and the phone rings. That was unnerving for me because I'm like, who the hell is calling? You know?
Hmm. And it was hard to listen. I don't know if it was a song or if it was something like this, but the only thing I can hear it is actually you have to make the music stop to make it go away. So,
Yeah, and we've been introduced to the music box. Like, what was the music box in season one? I really don't
No, it
remember.
wasn't season two. It started with the old man locked in a thing. We don't know where he was locked in. He was locked in somewhere.
Yeah, that ballerina, with her little appearance, definitely helped add some mystery to it as
Hmm.
well.
I think we are looking at them preparing for a season finale, like much probably going to be changing everything. I don't know. That's the feel I have. Because last season, these other people from the first were the big bad guy, and now we actually have these people in the first being about to be killed. But
Yeah, that was
hmm,
yeah, that was another thing. Cicadas were very present in this episode, and as I was telling you, cicadas usually represent rebirth, change.
resurrection, yes.
So yeah, resurrection. So the fact that they might have found a weakness to the big bad from season one and well, half of season two, and looks like they might be ready to up the ante a little bit.
I don't know, I have a feeling that by finding this weakness, they might have actually woken up, resurrected something more dangerous. Because for what Kenny was saying now, they can actually hurt us in our dreams. Hello, Freddy Krueger. Nice to meet you. But it seemed actually in the dream they can be hurt now, so that's pretty freaky.
Yeah, and so far it's only certain people, right? Like not everyone in the town is
We,
experienced it.
we don't know because they don't talk to each other. We mentioned that they actually just started talking to each other, but they're still not doing it properly. It's just weird. I don't know. It's just like I don't.
Still, yeah, still keeping a lot of secrets. And when Jade went out there to the forest with what is her name?
I can't remember. She's not interesting to
The
me.
wife of
The
Jim.
wife
The
of
wife of
Jane.
Jim.
Oh.
Yeah, well, she went out there and they were. He was asking like, why didn't Victor tell me about this whole? You know?
But we actually know now why. we actually understood because one big important thing in that episode also, we actually kind of get a backstory of Victor and the reason why he draws and the reason why he's actually the way he is. And the fact is he
Yeah.
refused to draw things that actually stay there because if you draw them, they disappear. So this is actually a pretty weird thing. And we discover he had a little sister.
Yeah, who ran out of the cellar in search of her mom. Wait, mom, I want to come with you.
Hmm.
Oh, let's not.
And we also finally, I talked about it in the last couple of episodes, we finally have a mention of the lighthouse. Well, it's a drawing of a lighthouse, but we have a lighthouse nonetheless, so that's pretty cool. The lighthouse coming
About
back.
time.
Mm,
About
I
time.
know. So it seems that everything seems to be coming to a blow between, well, this is actually funny if you think about it. The entire second season was about people not talking to each other and actually things going pretty bad for people. And now they are starting to talk to each other and seems to be changing at the same time. Like the gameplay is changing into this universe. We mentioned when we were watching it
Yeah.
together, we didn't mention like Randall and Jim kept talking about conspiracy theory, but the fact is, oh, there might be someone who is into it, and actually, we don't never know. We never seen people being killed. Maybe they actually pretended to actually die. There's actually nobody's dying. And we did mention
Oh,
together, we believe that if this is true, if they actually go into a conspiracy theory, Randall could be actually part of the thing because he could be a mole. Because he was.
yeah. I mean, like let's look at the facts here. Like Randall just comes up. He's willing to stay out in the bus by himself with that talisman, but which he doesn't apparently believe in. But
Mhm.
hey, I, and now he's like instigating everything. He was instigating in Colony House. He was instigating on the bus with the people outside, and it's just he just is constantly stirring the pot.
And what a surprise, actually. Like, I don't know, I felt so surprising that he has, suddenly he has this drone. I don't know, it's just like,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Okay, maybe he's like into drones. I don't know. I feel like that
it was
was.
a
Didn't he say it
present
was
for his
a present? Yeah.
present, but I don't know, I just found it
Yeah.
weird. And I was thinking in my head, I was just like, okay, we actually have Mr. Smiley, who actually gone now, obviously, well, he's pretty much butchered him, so I don't think he's coming back. But Randall got a very, very freaky smile. So could it become one of them eventually? I don't know. I have a feeling that he might actually become one of the leaders of these others. I don't know why this is actually the feeling I have.
It makes sense. It really does. Because he seems to be very important to the story. I mean, he was just kind of thrust in there, and we have gotten a lot of time with him, more so than we have some of the other characters that were on the bus. Like I, for one, thought the bus driver was probably going to be a bigger role, and I think we've seen her just like here and there a
I
few
actually changed her clothes,
times.
so she's not important anymore. She's one
Yeah.
of those. But it's true we haven't seen bus driver. That old lady that supposedly have cancer disappeared.
Yeah.
Just like we don't know where they are.
Uh,
One thing I found it very weird is that we were going setting up this lack of food, and it seems to be gone as well.
yeah, I mean, I thought that was kind of weird that she brought him that food when he was in the bed
Hmm.
sick, and he's like, "Aren't we in a food shortage?" And she's like, "Yeah, you need your strength."
Hmm. And as usual, that character Eli Ellis is just useless. Doesn't do anything. He just appeared like, "Hey, hi, I'm better. I've got something to tell you. I'm not going to tell you until next episode, I guess. I'm pregnant. No, I'm sorry. She's
Yeah.
pregnant."
Yeah, that I don't know. And then when Randall was asking the questions, which I think Randall is doing all this on purpose. I do
Mm.
think, like you said, I do think he might be the mole
It could be,
in question
it is
here.
something.
But
I don't believe that actually it's
yeah,
just a random guy you just thrown in that place. It just, that's what it does. is create doubt with people. He created doubt with Sarah. Is it Sarah? Yeah. He created doubt with Sarah about the brother being alive, which was such a weird thing to say. Uh,
Yeah, you can definitely tell he's like pulling for something. You
mhm,
know, he's just trying to plant the seeds of what's real and what's not,
mhm.
basically, to have people would just question everything now until eventually like these seeds will seep into Colony House, and then we'll probably see, you know, a lot of arguments in Colony
Oh
House
no,
as well.
because we only have 10 episodes a season.
True.
And I would have wanted 22 season, a 22 episode season because that could have been like lost and we could have actually spent more time with every characters. Unfortunately, that can't be the case.
Yeah, and the doctor's girlfriend is going through withdrawal, so that seems to be a storyline that they are sticking to
Mhm.
because, uh, we need to. They need to, I guess, keep that going for. Do you think it'll cause her to like maybe open the door
I
for
don't
one of
know.
them,
The
or?
thing, I'm struggling to actually see where all the new characters actually fit in the entire scheme of things. Like Randall, I can see is the antagonist. That's pretty clear. And I think he was also playing in, you remember last season Slasher with David Cronenberg? He
Mm-hmm.
was actually one of the kid, and he actually was playing the asshole as well. So that's why I just remember he was in there as well. So he played pretty much the same kind of roles in this place. So he's clearly the antagonist. Elgin is the seer. I don't have a feeling he's a seer. He can seem to have visions. And he actually had vision
Yeah.
before coming into the village. So I'll call it the seer. And that's the only two people that really are important in that new bunch of people.
I don't know. I see. I think that the older lady that's just walking around with her heads in the cloud because she's about to die. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like she might be important in some factor. I'm just not sure what it is. It's because they seem to she seems to show up in like these random times where it's just like these very intimate moments.
Oh,
She's just
she
there.
just appeared when they need to
Mm,
set up something for later.
it could be,
Like,
but
oh, I've got
we
some
we
painkillers.
know,
And then whoop, we set up the drug addiction.
yeah, yeah, but we know that she says that she's going to not be
Hmm.
alive. So I wonder how that's going to play in a factor. And also in this episode, I love it when we get characters reprising, reoccurring characters, because the people that kicked Sarah out of her, they're like, oh, this is your brother's stuff, but it's mine now. Get out.
Hmm.
These are the same people who were running out at the end of this episode, because
Because we don't
like you
know.
said, the cicadas seem to be representing a very new threat. I wonder if it connects with the music box. What do you think?
But it seems to be appearing every time. I don't know, because it can't be because cicadas don't have a pupil state. So
Hmm.
it can't be the worms. That's what I thought at first, but no, it can't be the worms. But yeah, but we don't even know if the cicada is actually the threat. It could be the bringer of the threat, if you see what I mean. Like the music box is bringing the vision. Maybe the cicadas bringing something that actually is more terrifying. And this thing seems to be in the dreams. Could be.
Yeah, it's almost like they use whatever the worms were, that they use the monsters as a host
Hmm.
almost, and to maybe spawn something else even
No,
worse.
exactly. And it's very
Like,
simple. We haven't seen any of the others for the entire episode. They're like in the background.
hmm
They
yeah, I mean, because think about it. If what was worse was maybe, and like when they did the autopsy, they said that this thing was mostly human, right? It looked
hmm.
human. So what if these things were in humans before and it turned them into those things, and then now that it's not in a human, it's even worse.
Could be. Could be. One thing's
Yeah,
for sure,
like
there is these things happening. They are setting up something. We knew that for other humans, night was dangerous, and now it seems that daytime is dangerous too.
I know, can't even get a good
I
nap,
know.
without being burned by a cicada.
It's actually pretty scary because now they actually set up a threat for daytime because what happened there at the end of the episode wasn't daytime. So you can't dream, you
Yeah.
can't dream, you can't stay awake daytime, and you can't be outside at nighttime. Damn. You feel like confinement I had basically during the pandemic in France for 3 months. Pretty much. It's actually pretty interesting. And of course, Randall is pretty much setting up to be the big bad guy at the end of the episode.
Yes, because he has kidnapped Donna.
Mm-hmm. Folder now.
And I'm like, come on, Donna. Like, come on. You trusted that guy. I get we got to give people a chance, but come on, Donna.
For me, I think Donna could have actually beat the shit out of him.
Me
She's no
too.
nonsense woman, and he's a bit like a little thing.
Yeah, something just tells me that he has ulterior motives.
Definitely. And of course, who created that thing? Jim, as usual, the guy that I can't stand, and I've never been able to stand. I was happy to actually not stand him because there we go again. Mister just want to be such a. I'm an engineer. I know everything about what's happening. And no, well, there you go. You actually created a monster. Mm.
I know.
It's just like,
Yeah, like Randall's just on top of the bus, just camping out, watching everybody in town.
kind of fishing. You know, I don't know why. I just think it's like fishing. It's just like sitting there, like fishing for clues. Mm,
And like we said earlier, also we got a little bit more of Victor's
mm.
backstory. We do know that his mother apparently went to the lighthouse to free the children, and the children are what we've been seeing as well.
Could be.
So, I mean, she said she was going to the lighthouse to rescue the children, and we were seeing all these unalived
Or
children,
they could be alive.
throughout the season. I mean, I feel like if they were alive, wouldn't the rest of them be able to see them? I don't know. I know it's
Mm,
from, but come
I don't
on.
know. One thing's for sure, the lighthouse is back, and I'm happy about it because. But do you think we'll be able to actually see anything about the lighthouse in this season?
Welcome into season 3 storyline.
And really, with the writer's strike, I'm a bit worried that we actually might have to wait 2025.
I know. Hopefully we won't. But yeah, I also love that Boyd also had to tell Donna, about the cicadas. He's like, that thing has cicadas coming out of it. They were all in this room, and Donna's like, okay, well maybe they spread
Mm.
out. He's just like, Boyd's like, no, and Kenny saw them too, so I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. And then Donna is like, we need to burn this
Mhm.
thing immediately.
And we also know Victor basically told us also that if people looking for answer never come back, so that's an interesting one as well.
As I mean, I feel like they should have learned that when the house collapsed.
Yeah, that's true. But it's Jim.
Yeah, I feel like Jim's gonna be.
He's annoying.
I
He's
mean,
annoying. Come on.
but now that I'm thinking about it, it seems to be like not that many seem to be pressing the issue of wanting to go home. It just seems to be a few characters, which I guess is kind of weird. I mean, do they speak for everybody? Because it seems like they cared when they had to build a radio, remember? But since then, it's kind of people just like, oh well, say that be.
I don't know. I don't know. I just find it I find it weird. I really find it really weird the way Jim is. obsession with going home. Okay, they want to go home, but the way he is actually very antagonistic with everyone. And he doesn't understand it. He's actually like, he doesn't understand that they are in a community and need to actually work together. And instead, he's trying to create all this tension between people. And then you just wonder, oh, how come Randall is trying to kill Donna? Oh, what a surprise. It's just, duh. The guy was obviously not right in the head in the first place. So what do you think?
Yeah, I really want to see the aftermath of this too, because they don't talk to each other. So who knows if they'll even find out Randall kidnapped Donna? We might not even find that out to season
And we
3.
also
So
we also
hopefully.
know that Jim was lying to Donna because he didn't mention to Randall the
Mm-hmm.
people at the radio on the radio, and he said to Donna that he never mentioned it. So oops, that's an issue. And maybe we actually start to understand why Jim and his wife were going to divorce because he's such an unsolvable character. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but gosh, oh, I met some people like this.
Yeah. And it's hilarious to me because last season it was Jade you couldn't stand, and now Jade has grown on you, and it's Jim that you really are starting to loathe, I guess you would
Yeah,
say.
Jade actually, what I like about Jade is actually he's trying to he go deep into the mystery, and he really trying to find
Mm.
answers, but not the way Jim is doing. Jim is actually just he's an engineer. The guy is just going to destroy everything to get what he wants in some way. And Jade is trying to understand pieces and pieces together, try to understand what's happening, and it's much more interesting, and it's funnier. It's really, really, the guy playing Jade is a funny character, he's a funny actor, and he really does his role pretty well. I believe he's gay. I don't know why, I have a feeling he's gay, but that's another story.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually kind of funny. Like, if any of you ever watched the Vampire Diaries, he played a similar character in the Vampire Diaries where he was a professor and he was kind of
Fruity?
the same
Mm.
sarcastic.
But was it fruity?
So he does it pretty
Was he
well.
fruity?
No, he wasn't.
He
He
wasn't
wasn't.
fruity at all, because for me
No.
that he was going around with a kitten on his t-shirt, so for me I was just like, okay. hmm Fruit Loops?
Yeah. Okay, so I mean, all in all, David, what do you feel about this
I
episode?
liked it. I wish I could do double feature because that twice in a row cliffhanger like this, it's just my heart's not going to be able to bear much longer.
Okay, so this is not American Horror Story. Okay, no double features.
But it's very good. What I'm saying, we could actually, now that we're episode 8, we could actually make a comparison between first season and second season. And I feel second season is much more mellow and much more slow in setting things up compared to season 1. I don't know, I feel there is more actually
And
characters development than actually on season 1.
yeah, and I noticed like on YouTube, I see a lot of YouTube, Reddit, and some other places where they discuss from the biggest issue a lot of people have, or they just feel like there's not enough answers. So
Mm,
uh, I, I want to say I feel like we're kind of getting some, but in a way where it's vague, you
I
know.
believe this is a show that you need to look at the symbolism of things, like we were talking about in the previous videos. Have a look. We were talking about the t-shirts and the fact that we had the bird on the t-shirts and things like that. That seems to be very important.
Mm-hmm.
Or even the color, were important too. The fact we see, well, we're seeing the bird quite a lot as well.
Yeah, it's actually kind of funny that you mentioned the symbolism because a lot of the animals that they have shown from a symbolism point of view all kind of mean rebirth.
hmm
Rebirth, being born again. So apparently this might be a theme in the show because all these people, if you connect the dots from the previous episodes, they seem to have all had some big life changing event about to happen, and then they're
Okay.
there. So
Let's.
yeah, it makes me kind
Mm,
of wonder, what's going
but
on with
please,
that.
let's not make it a season finale of Lost when everyone died and actually they're in heaven. Please, no. No, no, please. That was terrible. But I trust the writer. I feel they know what they are doing. I feel, I feel like I wish I could actually have longer to set up the stuff because I feel like they really set up the characters. You had a lot more characters development there, and then we're gonna have two. We got 2 episodes left. And what's gonna be? Gonna full on action? Last two episodes? We don't know. We actually, right now, I don't know what could happen. Everything is just up in the air. We know they're gonna try to use the bite on the gun, on the bullets, on the
Yeah,
thing.
silver bullets they call
Exactly.
them.
So there's this. We know Randall is not Kate. That's number two. That you're gonna have to resolve that. We've got the baby and the marriage. Gonna have to resolve that too. We
Well, I feel like there's enough stuff here to kind of start connecting the dots. For me, one of the dots that were kind of connected in this episode were the
Mhm,
children, because we kept wondering, where did these children
mhm,
come from, and why were they all in the lighthouse? That's another
mhm.
question. Why was she going to save them in the lighthouse? And are these the same children that Jim's wife keeps seeing? That is very disrespectful to keep referring her as Jim's wife, because I feel like she's a nice lady in general.
Exactly. I feel that she was the reason why she wanted to get divorced, but he's such an insufferable
Yeah.
character, Jim. Oh. But yeah, I feel we're gonna might have some resolution for some of these, but not all of these. Because I don't think 2 episodes is enough to actually resolve all the stuff that's been happening.
Nope, we gotta have a reason to tune in for season 3. Remember?
Yeah, we might see the lighthouse again.
I hope so. And also, what about the whole Civil War thing? Remember that?
hmm Yeah, and the fact is Jade is actually acting exactly the same way as the guy who killed everyone in the town is acting also. That's another one. There's plenty of things there that are actually going to be interesting to see. However, it's not an issue I have, but you see a lot of people, like you say, just say we don't have enough answer, and other people saying it's too slow. So please, that's the issue. I'm so worried they might end up canceling it because people can't actually take the hint and just relax and enjoy the show.
Well, I feel like it being MGM has really been pushing this show, because I feel like when we watched it the first time, it was very like
It
nobody
was a
knew
good
about
time.
it, and it was just kind of under
hmm
the radar. And this season, it is everywhere, and the marketing, MGM is like, this is our baby
Even in
now,
France, even in
They're
France.
like, yeah, yeah. They seem to be going all
Mhm.
in on it. So I do feel we will probably will
Mhm.
get a season 3, but I feel like if they think that it's too slow, I just hope they don't ruin it by just feeling like they need to just jam a whole bunch of action
Mhm.
nonstop, because I feel like that's going to kill the tension, and the tension is, to me, like the
Yeah,
best
I
part of the show.
agree. And for me
So,
also, I've got this, it's a mystery and I really don't want it to be canceled before the end, before actually a proper ending to the mystery, because this is the worst they could do. So bad.
well, I guess we'll see what unfolds
hmm
next week. At least they're not taking it's an episodic series, so at least they're not taking breaks how they used to do, where it's like they would show 4 episodes and then they would be on hiatus for like 2 months and then they would show another, and at least this is straight through, so
hmm
that's great. And I'm looking
We got
forward
two
to next
episodes
week.
left as well. Now we're gonna have to decide
Mhm.
what to do next.
Yeah, well, as always, I guess if you guys like the channel, please subscribe and tell us your
hmm
thoughts. And we also have a podcast.
And will Randall die? That's the question I'm asking. What do you think?
It's not that, David. Is will Randall be unalived? We'll see. So,
Muerte.
I will see. Yeah, we will see you
See you
guys
next week. Bye
next
bye.
week.